Hi Soothing Souls, hope you're all doing really well. Tonight, I'll be reading another fictional story I wrote. This one is called The Endless Archive. So let's get started. The first thing you noticed was the silence. Not the silence of emptiness, nor the silence of a closed room, but a silence alive with presence, like the quiet pause before something sacred is revealed. You stood at the threshold of the archive. It was not a library as you knew it, nor a museum, nor even a temple. It was all of these, and more. A hall so vast it seemed to stretch beyond sight, its edges swallowed in a golden haze. The very air seemed alive, carrying the faintest hum, as though the archive itself breathed in slow, steady rhythm. The scent of parchment lingered, but it was not musty or stale. Instead, it was like the clean smell of paper just pressed, mingled with the mineral coolness of ancient stone and the faint sweetness of honey warmed by sunlight. The floor beneath your feet was polished marble, veined with threads of silver. Each step felt cushioned, as though the marble itself absorbed sound to preserve the stillness. Your movements left no echo. Stretching upward in spirals, the shelves filled the space. They were taller than any tower, curving gracefully like the trunks of living trees. Yet instead of branches, they held treasures of memory. Not books alone, but scrolls sealed in crystal cylinders, feathers wrapped with silk, shards of colored glass that pulsed faintly with light, and carved stones edged with shifting patterns that rearranged when you looked away. Each artifact seemed alive, humming faintly, waiting for someone to draw close. You walked forward, the air shifting around you. With each step, you caught the faintest change in scent and sound. Here, the cool breath of pine needles, as though a forest whispered nearby. There, the salt of an unseen ocean mingled with the faint cry of gulls. Further still, the sweetness of blossoms opening after rain. It was as though the archive contained not just words or subjects, but entire worlds distilled into fragments. To your left, a stairway spiraled downward, carved from black stone that glimmered with faint points of silver, like a night sky captured in rock. Drawn by curiosity, you began to descend. The air grew cooler, shadows deepened. The hum of the archive resonated more deeply, as though you were walking into the heart of its memory. At the base of the stair, shelves stretched outward again, but there they held rarer things. A mask carved of jade, its smooth surface gleaming, eyes faintly aglow. A length of fabric folded neatly, though it rippled as if stirred by a wand that was not there. A glass sphere filled with swirling silver mist, shifting shapes within it too, reflecting to name. You paused before a scroll sealed in crystal. Without your touch, the seal side opened and the parchment unfurled itself. Symbols glowing along its surface, not words at first, but shapes that shimmered and arranged, until slowly they formed a vision. You blinked, and the archive dissolved. You were standing in a field. Endless grasses waved golden until the glow of a setting sun. The scent of earth and warmth filled the air. A river whispered nearby, hidden behind the hills. Crickets droned in their evening chorus, steady and comforting. It was not a painting, nor a dream. It was a memory, someone's lived moment, preserved here. You knelt, brushing your hand across the tall grasses. They bent slowly beneath your touch, cool and smooth, edges sharp yet delicate. The sun warmed your face, and for a moment, you breathed the same breath that someone had taken long ago. Then, just as softly, the field dissolved, folding back into parchment. The scroll sealed itself once more, glowing faintly before returning to stillness. You exhaled slowly. The archive did not simply store words. It held the pulse of existence itself. Every life, every fleeting instant, every glance and laugh and quiet breath. You wandered further. In a circular alcove, shelves curved around a pedestal where a single quill rested. Its feathers shimmered with colors that changed as you looked. Indigo one moment, emerald the next, silver the moment after. The black read, "To write is to remember." You lingered, watching as the feathers seemed to quiver faintly, as though stirred by a hand you cannot see. Deeper still, another chamber waited, as itself was a pool, but not filled with water. Instead, its surface rippled with memory itself. You leaned closer, expecting to see your reflection, but the pool showed a version of you younger than you are now, smiling faintly, eyes filled with light you had almost forgotten. The image lifted its hand in greeting before fading, the pool smoothing into calm once again. The archive was not only the memory of the world, it was the memory of you. You walked until the shelves opened into the largest chamber of all. A circular space with no shelves, no objects, only a single column of golden light. A circular space with no shelves, no objects, only a single column of golden light stretching endlessly upward. The air here vibrated gently, and the hum of the archive deepened into something that pulsed inside your chest. You stepped closer, and as you did, the light shifted. At first, shapes flickered. You stepped closer, and as you did, the light shifted. At first, shapes flickered, too fast to name. They stayed. Then they steadied. You saw a place you had walked, stones warm beneath your feet, sunlight dappling across them. You saw a night you had once sat in silence, listening to nothing but the breath of the world. You saw a place that had brought you comfort, a voice that once soothed you. The light was not showing you someone else's story, it was showing you yours. You lingered, letting the images rise and fade, like waves meeting shore. Not every vision was bright. Some carried the weight of tears, the shadows of loneliness, yet even those moments glowed with a strange tenderness, as though the archive held them not in judgment, but in care. And then, quietly, the light folded itself back into stillness. The chamber dimmed again, the hum softening into a steady rhythm. You sat on the cool marble floor, grounding yourself in its smooth surface, breathing slowly as the silence wrapped around you like a cloak. There was no rush, no beginning or ending, only the archive, endless and patient. When at last you rose, the path you had taken seemed to guide you gently back. Shelves glowed faintly as you passed, their artifacts resting once more in slumber. The stair led upward, back into the golden hall where you had first entered. The silence followed you, steady and sure, like the echo of a lullaby. And though you left the archive behind, you knew it had not left you. Its stories, its visions, its quiet heartbeat, they had woven themselves into your own memory, as if you too had become a fragment it carried, forever preserved, forever remembered. Alright, I think that'll be it for tonight. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this new story. Hope you all sleep well, and hope you all have a great night.